Welcome to the Roadmap to Secure Love. In today's episode, Kim and Kyle discuss the benefits of secure solo sex, breaking the stigma around self-exploration, and how it enhances both self-care and relationships. Let's dive in.
Today, Kim and I want to talk about secure solo sex. And what we mean about that is time with your own body, time to connect with yourself, masturbation. And what we're going to go into today is we're going to go into the messages we got about masturbation, if it's bad, unhealthy, maybe even we got messages that's harmful to our relationship. And we're going to talk about how you can work with those messages, as well as the benefits of masturbation for ourselves as well as our partners.
Yeah, this is a touchy topic. There's a lot of feelings around solo sex.
Are
And there's a lot of messages that say that it's bad, it's not good for us, it's not good for the relationship, it's selfish,
Mhm.
but that's not what the research shows. The research actually shows something quite different, which is when you masturbate, you increase the blood flow. It's important for that all parts of our body to get great blood flow, right? It reduces stress, right? Which can reduce pain, right? It's a mindful exercise. So it's a time where you just focus on yourself and your pleasure,
Mhm.
which helps with blood pressure, mental stress, physical stress, pain, as we mentioned. Like this is actually with the research really, really, really healthy.
Very.
But we get stuck because we hear the stigmas.
Mhm. And these are kind of these messages that we get about masturbation is selfish. It's not loving of our relationship. It's a bad thing. It's unhealthy. We need to save ourselves for our partner, or whatever that message is. And so we get this message of how it's not a good thing, how it should be avoided, how it should be frowned upon, how it's not healthy. And like Kim said, that's not what the research shows.
Mm-mm. No.
And one of the things that you are really talking about is it can be such a way for self-care because in a way we are in control of the pleasure that we experience when we're by ourselves, right? It's kind of like we're locking the door to our bedroom and it's just ourselves with our bodies, with the here and now. We're locking out the stress, we're locking out the other people, we're locking out the messages, and we're making space for the pleasure within our bodies in this very moment, which has a whole bunch of health benefits.
Yeah. And a lot of times I've heard people say stuff like, it's going to ruin our relationship,
Hmm.
right? And that actually, now, of course, if there's faith or there's, you haven't discussed it, of course it can cause some problems in the relationship, which is why we want you to go see therapy and talk about it and all the things. But research has actually shown that people who are actively masturbating does the opposite. You
Mhm.
get to really know your body and you get to own your pleasure.
Mhm.
So that instead of asking my partner to just guess or figure it out, what I like and what I don't like, I've already come up with a platter of things that I enjoy.
Mhm.
And I can share that. And it actually builds connection.
Right. Because this is one of the things that when we take time to have secure solo sex is we get to explore our bodies, not just our genitalia, but we get to explore all the different sensations that we experience within our bodies, what is pleasurable, what is not. And that is ways that we can guide our partner to help us experience pleasure with them too.
Mm, yeah. And it's about exploring your whole body,
Mhm.
not just your genitals, your chest, your legs, your hair, your arms.
Mhm.
Where is pleasure for you?
Mhm.
And how can you allow yourself just the space, just there to experience it? It's powerful.
It's really powerful because in that we get information, we get an understanding of our body and our pleasure, which allows us to own it,
Mhm.
allows us to know what's pleasurable and learn and adjust for our bodies, as well as help our partners learn.
Yeah. And it's about carving out time for us.
Mhm.
We've talked in one of our episodes about low libido, right? And how the mental load gets so much
Mhm.
and the stress, and to carve out pleasure. This is one way to carve out pleasure.
Mhm.
In a world that always wants something from us, we can say, now, no, this is the time that I'm giving something to myself. I'm in charge and I'm going to take care of me.
Mhm. I'm
I'm
gonna,
worthy of that.
yeah, I'm delighting in my body. And
Mm,
just like I said, I'm locking that door and I'm locking out the world. So it's all about me. And not only is it about just me, but it's about my pleasure, my body's pleasure, what I'm experiencing in the moment. And like Kim said, that has a ton of health benefits, but it also is such a good act of self care, self prioritization, and putting up boundaries so we get space for ourselves.
mhm. You know what I'm kind of thinking as I'm hearing all the buts, the buts, the buts, the buts. Oh, ooh, buts, bleh, buts. And so it makes me kind of want to, invite our listeners that if they wanted to, they could write us and email us or write on the YouTube comment section what messages they need help unwinding
Mhm.
so that they can free themselves to actually be okay with pleasuring self.
I love that. Because there's so many, just as you said, the stigmas, so many messages about our bodies, how our bodies should operate, how we should show up, how we should connect with our bodies, and what we shouldn't do.
Mhm,
Right. And that is going to impact our connection with our body, our connection with our pleasure, our connection with masturbation.
mhm.
And so please write us some of these messages, and Kim and I can either do an episode or we can respond to those comments so we can help you fight those messages and fight for your pleasure, fight for you to have self care and connect with your body.
Yeah, we wanna hear, we wanna help. I'm even hearing, a voice in my head about, parents who have come to me who have been like, "If my kid masturbates, they're gonna have a whole bunch of sex and get an STI, and he's gonna unlock something." Like, this fear,
Mhm.
even in parenting. And again, that's not actually what research shows.
No.
Research shows that teens that have great masturbation practices have less sexual encounters. It doesn't mean they don't abstain necessarily, but they're not the people that are just going to just sleep with whoever and whenever and however. That's just not what resources say. That's just not what it says.
Mhm. Because they learn about their bodies and they learn about trusting their gut and picking people who they will be entering that intimate space with.
Mhm. And they learn that they don't need pleasure from somebody else, they can do it themselves,
Mhm.
and that they can be picky with who they choose
Mhm.
to share that with.
Yeah. And so, what we're really encouraging for the listeners is to, again, if you're really struggling with messages that block you from self exploration, self masturbation, write us. Let us into where you're feeling stuck so we can help with those blocks. And fight for you to have space for self-care, for you to have pleasure, space for you to have stress relief, blood flow through your body, and to be in charge and own what's pleasurable for you.
Today we explored the key benefits of secure solo sex. 1. Embracing self-care. 2. Breaking the stigma. 3. Enhancing intimacy. 4. Improving stress relief. And 5. Increasing body awareness. These are powerful ways to strengthen your connection with yourself and your partner. Follow the roadmap to secure love on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Sign up for the Secure Attachment Path course to learn practical tools for building secure connections. Until next time, stay connected and keep listening with love.